Hello and welcome to another episode of Taylor Talks Comics. Today I figured I'd do a little bit of an unboxing for you. Got some new books in, so stay tuned. Alrighty, I got this box in and I figured I would show my few books off to you guys. I always love a good unboxing video, people getting new comics in. So I figured maybe you guys would too. If you haven't already though, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. And as I unpackage this, I do go, just a little plugging note, I do go live once a week to cover the comic book and industry news. So you want to hit that bell notification icon to make sure you don't miss any episodes. So I'm trying to make sure my address isn't coming up here. I don't want to dox myself. All right. Oh, jeez. Forgive me for that. But we don't edit anything on the show. Everything's done in one take. So, bear with me. Dang it, this cord will not get out of the way. Messing up my shot here. All right. So first things first, let's go over these books. There's a couple, one of them's a new release, and one of them is a book I've just been needing to pick up. But they're both from Humanoids. So let's do the older release first. This is Wolfhead. Let me move the camera in a little bit here. So if you're a long-time viewer of my channel, you know that I love JODOROWSKY's Yodoverse, or Jodoverse, whatever you want to, however you pronounce that. And Jodorowsky wrote the Incal, which then became an entire universe that went into Metabarons and Techno Priests and all these other things. This is part of the new line of Humanoids books where they are letting other creators tell stories within the Incal universe. Jodorowsky has given them permission to do so. So these are the first Yodoverse books to take place in the universe that weren't written by Jodorowsky. Which I guess I can show you the other books. I don't know if I have that one. Oh, there it is. Because this is the third one. Sorry, as I'm talking about it over here. This is the third one that has come out. So first there was the Psychoverse that came out. The third one of the books that Jodorowsky had nothing to do with. So first the Psychoverse came out. This was written by Mark Russell, art by Yannick Paquette and Dave McCaig. And then The Dying Star by Dan Waters and John Davis Hunt. And then we're getting Brandon Thomas and Pete Wood's Kill Wolfhead. So if you want to see what they look like on the shelf together, I guess I can show that off. There's the spines. So they all carry the title of the Incal and then so forth. But I got this because I'm preparing a Alejandro Jodorowsky's all of my books that have anything to do with him or written by him or by the universes he's created. I'm doing a video showing all those off. So I needed these books to add them to the collection. But you start off here, looks like you get some quotes by Mark Miller and Brian Michael Bendis. Those are actually, I think those were intros of the actual Incal. I don't think it's written for this book in particular. And then David Goyer wrote stuff about the Metabarons. He wrote the afterword in the Metabarons collection. So no new introductions or anything. I think those are always pulled from previous collections. very similar entrance. If you're familiar with the Incal, you can see Kill Wolfhead, who is a character that debuted in the Incal, which I guess most characters did. If it's the Incal universe, the Incal was the first story written for the universe. So I'm excited to dive into this and see what Kill Wolfhead's doing these days. I'm not really sure when this. I'm assuming this takes place before the Incal, just based on a bunch of other things. But the artwork looks pretty good. By Pete Woods. But Kill Wolfhead is a really cool character in the Incal, so it'll be exciting to read a story where he gets fleshed out a bit. Is that the chapter break? I want to see it. If that plays into the fold here. It is done as a European album, as you can imagine, with these like chapter breaks that you would see in a European album if it was to be serialized elsewhere. Yeah, okay, I was wondering if they did that. So Kill Wolfhead slowly falling as the chapter breaks go on. That's a really cool touch involved. But yeah, Kill Wolfhead's in one of the first scenes of the Incal. You get introduced to that character, and then he plays a part in the full universe. And he keeps falling. It would have been better if they did new artwork, though, instead of the same exact pose each time, where he's like flailing his arms and legs. But either way, it's a cool touch. They at least put some thought into it. I don't want to flip through too much, because I've not read this, obviously. I didn't want to see the end, though. You have author bios. Mapping out the universe. This is usually included in these collections, which is great, because it's telling you the order. I guess the order to read these in. But I think it's a little bit... It's not as structured as this. Like, I think if you were to read, like, the Incal and then Metabarons, first cycle, and then to get into some of the other stuff, that's how I read it. Like, I read the Incal first and then Metabarons, and then some of these other stuff that are like prequels or sequels or whatever. And then some of these other ones that flesh out the universe. To me, I think that's like perfectly fine as well. It's interesting it doesn't include the second book that I'm going to show off, though. Oh, and then it has a one-page excerpt from Psychoverse and a one-page excerpt from Dying Star, it looks like. Yeah, so no extras in the back, really. Just the reading order and whatnot. But that's Kill Wolfhead. I'm excited to read this. Maybe I'll do a video on my channel showing off all three of the non-Jodorowsky's Incal books. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that. The next book I have is the Metabarons second cycle finale. So, this is... Well, now I can't find it. Oh, there it is. So the Metabarons started off with the first cycle, which is all collected into this guy right here. This is the Metabarons first cycle. Even though it doesn't say first cycle on it, this thick book includes the entirety of the first cycle, as well as I think Genesis Kostaka is in here. It's the one that Juan Jimenez had something to do with. I forget. Is that it? Oh, the Crest of the Kostaka is in the back of this one. And then you get to the second cycle, and there's actually two other spin-offs that are called the Weapons of the Metabaron and Weapons Kostaka. I'm going to do a big reading order of this. But then after that came this book, which is the second cycle. I guess I should show it going the right way. Second cycle of Metabarons in this book. And then here, what I hold today is the second cycle finale. So all in all, to read the entirety of the Metabarons story, you're going to need Metabarons second cycle and Metabarons second cycle finale. Will they eventually release a new second cycle that includes this in a hardcover? Probably. They did do a paperback that just came out recently that includes second cycle and all of this in it. I'm assuming they'll do a hardcover that matches this, hopefully. And will I double dip on that? I don't know. Possibly. I guess it's the same trim size. Maybe not. But I digress. So this is the second cycle finale. I'm not really entirely sure when this was written either. I don't know if it's like a thing that's been in the works and has been waiting to be translated into English. Let me see. It contains book 4 of the Metabarons series, published in 2023. First published in France in 2022. Okay. So it was first published in France in 2022, it looks like. And then in 2023 it was published in some fashion in English. And in 2024 is when this book came out. I don't know if they came out digitally or not. This is kind of a surprise for me. I didn't know this was even a thing that was coming out. But this is written by JODOROWSKY, and the artwork is by Jerry Frizen and Pete Woods. Oh, I'm sorry. I stand corrected. ALLRED JODOROWSKY did the story. Jerry Frizen did the writing. Pete Woods is the artist. So Pete Woods, I didn't even realize that. Pete Woods, the artist on Kill Wolfhead, is the artist on this collection as well. So I got more Pete Woods artwork, which makes sense because I think second cycle was the same deal as far as story by JODOROWSKY, written by Jerry Frizen. So when I said that JODOROWSKY had nothing to do with the Kill Wolfhead, Dying Star, and Psychoverse, he didn't even write the story for this. He wrote the stories for these, but then it looks like the scripting and stuff was done by Jerry Frizen. So you get the robots in there. Tonto. So it's good to see those guys. And this continues the what we know of to be the lineage of all of the Metabarons through the entire family tree and history. Which, if you don't know a lot about the Metabarons themselves and what makes that story so great, and what I think is one of the great space operas in comics, I'm going to do a video on that. I'm going to do a separate video on just covering the Metabarons first cycle, and then I'm going to do a video showing off all my JODOROWSKY books. So stay tuned for that. Again, hit that bell notification icon if you haven't already, if you're wanting to know more about these and what makes these such great sci-fi, space opera, epic comics that everyone needs to be reading. So I'm excited to do Meta Bonus. I'm excited to read this as well as the conclusion to Metabarons. Oh, there are some extras in the back. Okay. So we have some character designs by Pete Woods. It's always fun to see these. The Pooh aliens. Research for the planet Marmola. Okay, let's see if it's included in this one now. It's not. So it looks like based on this reading order, it's exactly the same as the one we just looked at. No, it's not. Is it? Let me see. Now I'm curious. Okay, it is. Yeah, it's exactly the same. Yeah. Okay, so I'm basing on this reading order, which, assuming that they would have updated this for... oh, they did update it. Okay. Yeah, so second cycle on number 8 here on the reading order includes, I guess I'll pull up to the camera, includes Pete Woods in there. So I'm assuming when they say second cycle, it means to read both of these books at once. I don't know if that part was included on Kill Wolfhead. Yeah, it was. Okay. So that's the reading order. I think I do want to go back when I do a big reread of these, because I've read all these like kind of in spots, kind of mixed up in somewhat loose order. I do want to do like a full readathon of reading them in this order, like the Incal, before the Incal, after the Incal, final Ecal, and then Metabarons, Genesis Kostaka, and so on. But those are those two books. The third book I hauled was Madman, Library Edition. And it came in this protective box, which is always nice. And this is volume 5. So let's open this guy up. So Mike ALLRED, who I often say is my one of my all-time favorite comic book artists, and definitely my all-time, or definitely my favorite comic book artist that's currently active. And he's been putting out these Madmaniverse library editions through Dark Horse, and there's some of my favorite collections being put out today because they are amazing. They're comprehensive. Let me show that. Move up the camera a little bit. In that they're going to include, when they're all said and done, everything that Mike Allred has done that's creator owned in his career, which is amazing. To have, you don't get that with a lot of creators, so it's really cool that we're gonna get that. So take off the dust jacket here. Really cool inner flaps there. Here's the back of the dust jacket. And then the hardcover itself looks just like with the dust jacket art. All the artwork on the dust jacket's the same as it is underneath. So you get in here. Over 490 pages drawn by the legendary comics creator Mike Allred and friends in this true homage to superhero fiction, metaphysical philosophy, 1950s science fiction films, rock and roll pop music, and much more. You got some blurbs here. Look at the names on these blurbs. Robert Rodriguez, Eric Larson, Alex Toth, The New York Times, and Darwin Cook. And these do come with a really cool ribbon on the inside. Let me pull that out here. A nice red ribbon to keep your place for whatever you're reading it. So like I said, this is the 5th volume. There will be a 6th volume, which will be the concluding volume, unless Mike Allred continues to make creator-owned work that eventually we get a 7th volume, which would be amazing. I'd love that. This volume here, though, includes Dead Air, which is a really old story, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's one of the... Yep, M. Dalton Allred. So you know that's how he used to sign his name. Older story, but I think it's been newly recolored by Laura and Han Allred. And Laura, the letter, it's been re-lettered, it looks like, by Laura Allred as well. And then we get the Everyman, which has inks, colors, and letters by Bernie Moreau. Moreault? I don't know how to say his name. I apologize. Bernie. We got Crash Metro Star Squad, Madman Hospital Havoc, It Girl and the Atomics 1 through 5 and 7 through 9. And then we get this number 6 over here in the credits. And then 10 and 11. So it looks like a lot of It Girl is in here, having issues 1 through 11 of It Girl. Makes up the majority of this volume. But here's Dead Air. So yeah, this is including all kinds of classic, even the classic material that Mike Allred started his career with. I think volume 6 will have a lot more of that. I forget the name of the story, but I know Atomic Robo, is that the name of the story? I apologize. Will be in the volume 6, and then some of the earlier stories that he did. The great thing too about this is that Mike Allred had all these really cool artists do pinups, and they're all collected throughout here, not just in the back of the book in chunks. Usually it separates as a chapter break, which is really fun because then whenever you finish an issue, you get to this really classic, or you get to this really cool pinup. It's always a nice little treat when you get to one of those. Like and when I say he had all these really cool artists, he had like everybody. In those earlier volumes, you'll see like Jack Kirby, Frank Miller, Jim Rugg was even in there. Just a who's who of artists throughout comics were doing pinups. So Dead Air looks like to be a pretty big chunk of the story here. I've never read Dead Air before, so it'll be interesting to read this for the first time. You can definitely see the art style, especially the inking of Mike Allred has changed over the years, for sure. Oh, and then it looks like we get to a Madman. Yeah, this is Hospital Havoc. Is that the next one? Oh, the Everyman was in there too. Okay. Oh, that might be some of the, part of this is the Everyman. So some of those are Bernie's inks. Oh, here's the Everyman right here. So that's Dead Air. This is Everyman right here. And then we get to Hospital Havoc, which is the first Madman story proper to be collected in here. Jim Silk doing a pinup here. Tim Sale, the Gone Too Soon, sadly recently passed. Tim Sale, and it says with apologies to Jim Steranko, because it's a homage to a Steranko Nick Fury piece. Yeah, I can't wait to dive into this. Aaron Conley here. Mike Allred, though, I always say is like one of the great... Oh, here's a Ron Salas pinup. One of the great storytellers in comics. I feel like all of his comics just like flow. The way they're told and stuff. This is different artwork, obviously, and this is one done by Mike Norton. Written by Jamie S. Rich. Okay, so this is the It Girl issue that Mike Allred had nothing to do with, it looks like. Besides creating the character, obviously. Here's a variant cover by Darwin Cook. The great Darwin Cook is in here. Let's keep flipping through here. George Comedius. Yeah, but Mike Allred, though, some of my favorite comics he's ever done, besides the creator-owned stuff, if you haven't read, like, The Ecstatics, written by Peter Milligan, his Silver Surfer run, written by Dan Slott, was amazing. iZombie, written by Chris Roberson. And those are all collected in really nice omnibuses by Marvel or DC. But yeah, I'm excited to dive into this. I love It Girl, the character that's spun out of Madman and the Atomics stories. And I've never read a lot of these It Girl issues, so it'd be fun to dive into these for the first time. Monica Gallagher on that one. Natalie Norgett. I'm telling you, these pinups are always fun to see whenever you get to a new one. Christopher Mitten. Yeah, so I'm excited to have all these on my shelf. Maybe I'll do a video of all of the Madman books. All the Madman library editions so far until we get volume 6. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that. And what your thoughts are. What's your favorite Mike Allred series? So yeah, that's the haul. I got Madman library edition volume 5. I got Metabarons second cycle finale. And then I got Kill Wolfhead. So, thank you guys for watching. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below with your thoughts. I reply to all comments. And see you guys later.